Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today we are asking, well, a pretty big question in the semiconductor world right now. Is Marvell technology a good time to buy now? And we're not just skimming headlines here. We've got the latest financials, charts, analyst notes, really digging into this huge transformation Marvell just went through. It's quite the story. Before we jump in, though, if you find this analysis helpful, please hit subscribe, like us, maybe leave a comment. Oh, and definitely, if there's another company you want us to look into, drop the name below. We actually do read those.
Yeah, and this is really timely because Marvell, they're a big name, fabulous semiconductor supplier, super focused on data infrastructure, think cloud, AI, networking, all that. But the reason we're looking now is they've just completely changed their business focus. It's a major shift.
Right, they're almost a different company now compared to, say, last year.
Exactly. We're basically looking at Marvell pre-pivot and Marvell post-pivot.
Okay, let's get right into that pivot. The huge news, the thing that really signals the change, selling off their automotive Ethernet business.
That was to Infineon.
Right, correct. Closed in August 2025. And it wasn't a small deal either.
No kidding. How much did that bring in?
A cool $2.5 billion cash.
Wow. Okay.
And what's really interesting is how fast it reorients the company. Management was very clear about this. They basically said, we're taking this cash, this focus, and pouring it all into our core markets.
Which are?
Custom silicon, specifically for AI networks, data centers. That's where they see the big growth. They ditched a decent but slower business to go all in on AI. So yeah, the future growth story now, it's pretty much all tied to AI and cloud spending cycles.
Okay, let's talk money. How does $2.5 billion change their financial picture? Because looking before the sale, the balance sheet had some question marks. Debt load was a concern for some.
Oh, definitely. As of, let's see, February 1st, 2025, they were carrying almost $4.3 billion in total debt.
And their cash on hand. About $597, maybe $598 million. So very little cash compared to the debt.
Wait, like a tenth, basically.
Pretty much. So this $2.5 billion infusion, it's not just helpful. It fundamentally changes that whole debt conversation. It gives them breathing room, a lot of it.
So massive liquidity boost coming up.
Exactly. And that means flexibility. Management now has options. The filings mentioned they're eyeing potential smaller acquisitions, bolt-ons, probably to get even deeper into AI tech. They've got the money to do that now. The focus shifts from just managing debt to actually investing strategically.
Okay, so that's the forward-looking positive story, strategic pivot, stronger balance sheet. But here's where it gets, well, complicated. When you look at the recent performance, the fiscal year that ended Feb 1st, 2025, it's not exactly a clean picture. What are the headlines there?
Yeah, the backward look shows the strain of the transition. Revenue for that year, FY25, was $6.045 billion.
Which was down from the year before.
Down 8.7%, yeah.
Yeah.
From $6.623 billion in FY24.
Yeah.
And maybe more starkly, they toasted a net loss, a GAAP net loss of $607.8 million.
Ouch. Especially when they made money the year before, right? About $164 million net income in FY24. What drove that big loss? Was it operations falling apart?
That's the key thing to unpack. It wasn't mostly day-to-day operations failing. A huge chunk of that loss came from restructuring and impairment charges. Think of it like this. They're cleaning house, writing down the value of older stuff, costs related to shutting down parts of the business they sold off, getting ready for the new strategy.
Okay. So it's more like accounting reflecting the transition costs, not necessarily the core business collapsing.
Precisely. But it still hits the bottom line hard for that year.
And translates to that EPS loss, $2.71 versus a gain of 19 cents the year before.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking backward, it seems rough. That's the tension, isn't it?
That's exactly the tension. But, if you dig just a little deeper past that headline loss, you find proof the strategy is working where it counts. On the product level.
The silver lining, you're talking about gross margins.
And it's a big deal. Gross margin actually jumped up, hit 54.9% in FY25 compared to 51.6% in FY24.
Okay, that is significant.
It shows that the stuff they kept the data center, the AI-focused products, carries much better margins. It confirms the new, leaner Marvell is potentially more profitable at its core.
Right. Taking the short-term accounting hit for better long-term profit quality.
Exactly. And even with that net loss on the books, they were still generating decent cash. Net cash from operations was still over $1 billion, $1.113 billion.
Still pretty strong.
Yeah, leading to estimated free cash flow around $874 million. So the core operations, the parts they kept, are still throwing off cash. But we also have to listen to management. They specifically warned about near-term revenue disruption. Headwinds. You sell a chunk of your business, your top line takes a temporary hit. That's expected.
Makes sense. They're saying, look, it's going to be bumpy for a couple of quarters, but stick with the long-term plan.
That's the message.
So it's this weird mix. Improving core profitability, good cash flow, but a big reported loss and warnings of lower revenue short term. It's a bit of a puzzle.
Stepping back then, with this new AI focus, who are they actually competing against? This isn't an easy market.
No, definitely not. They're playing in the big leagues now, squarely focused on high-growth areas, but the competition is fierce. You've got Broadcom, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, all giants, especially in networking and custom chips.
So the big question is, can they actually win against those guys?
That is the multi-billion-dollar question for investors. Can they execute better? Their angle seems to be specialization. While NVIDIA dominates GPUs and Broadcom is everywhere, Marvell is really honing in on custom silicon, ASICs, for specific big cloud and AI players, the hyperscalers.
Trying to be the go-to partner for tailored solutions, not the general store.
Something like that. Be indispensable for custom jobs. High risk, but potentially very high reward if they pull it off. Okay, high stakes indeed. So you've got this bullish strategy, messy recent numbers, tough competition. What are the charts saying? Is the stock reflecting optimism, pessimism, or just confusion?
Right now, confusion or maybe just patience. The technicals scream consolidation. The stock's around $71, let's say mid-September 2025. And it's been stuck, really stuck between roughly $65 on the low end and $75 on the high end for the past month or so.
A tight range.
Very tight. Support looks pretty solid, around $68 to $70. Resistance is capped around $74 to $76. What that really tells you is the market's basically saying, okay, $70 seems fair for the story, but we're not paying $76 until we see proof. Show us the AI growth actually hitting the numbers.
And the indicators back that up, like moving averages, RSI.
Yep, the 50-day moving average is around $73, stock's just under it. Neutral, maybe slightly weak short-term, RSI. Right smack in the middle, 52.54. Massive D momentum, flat as a pancake. All signs point to the market just waiting. No conviction either way right now.
But then there's the insider activity. If the long-term AI story is so great, you'd maybe expect insiders to be loading up. What are they actually doing?
Well, sentiment overall is mixed. You see the bulls focused on AI, but real concern about that near-term revenue dip we talked about. And the insider activity, it leans negative. Moderately negative signal. We've seen some C-suite folks selling shares, planned sales, mind you, but still sales.
How much are we talking?
Over the last 3 months, roughly 150,000 shares total. That works out to about $11.2 million worth.
Okay, $11 million isn't pocket change. That definitely needs watching. It raises the question, are they just taking some profits after a run, or do they share some of that concern about pulling off this big transition?
That is the core question, isn't it? We'll circle back to that.
All right, so looking ahead, what could break this stock out of that $65, $75 channel? What are the catalysts the market is waiting for?
Number one is the next earnings report. Q2 fiscal 26, expected late November 2025. That's the first real look post-sale. The market needs to see. Are margins holding up like they expect? What's the guidance look like, especially for the AI parts? That report is huge.
Okay, earnings are key. What else?
What they do with that $2.5 billion cash.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching. Are they going to announce big stock buybacks? Or maybe make a strategic acquisition to boost their AI capabilities? How they deploy that cash will send a big signal about their confidence and strategy.
You mentioned the contrast earlier. Insider selling versus what are the big institutions doing? Are they buying this story?
That's the flip side, and it's a positive. We are seeing significant institutional buying lately.
Yeah.
Seems like the big money managers, the long-term funds, are buying into the AI pivot story.
Interesting.
And more than that, options activity has been notable. Call options volume jumped something like 39% recently. That suggests professional traders are betting on the price going up before year-end, probably anticipating that earnings report.
So institutions and options traders leaning bullish, insiders leaning slightly cautious. A real split. Okay, final piece. The analysts. What's the Wall Street consensus?
Generally positive on the long game, but cautious on the near term. Take JP Morgan, they're still overweight, $85 target. They love the AI cloud pipeline.
Why?
But they explicitly mention execution risk during this transition. Morgan Stanley, on the other hand, is more neutral, equal weight. They see the long-term potential too, but they're pointing to some softness in the legacy businesses. Marvell didn't sell as a reason to stay on the sidelines for now.
Okay, besides the usual semiconductor ups and downs, any risks specific to Marvell's new strategy?
Two big ones stand out. First, customer concentration. They rely heavily on a few massive cloud customers, the hyperscalers. If even one of those pulls back spending or switches suppliers, it hurts Marvell disproportionately. That specialization cuts both ways.
Right, fewer eggs, bigger basket.
Exactly. And second, maybe the biggest risk of all, execution. Their entire future is riding on delivering these next-gen custom AI chips on time, better than the competition. With rivals like NVIDIA and Broadcom breathing down their necks, they simply cannot afford missteps on product development or delivery. It's a huge bet on their own ability to execute flawlessly.
Okay, let's try to wrap this all up. We've got this bold AI strategy, messy financials right now, a pile of cash, stalled stock price, tough competition, and huge execution risk. So the big question for our listeners, is Marvell a buy, hold, or sell today?
Yeah, weighing all that. Based on everything we've looked at, it comes out kind of in the middle. It's called a 6.5 out of 10 overall.
Yeah.
The positives are compelling. Clear strategic focus on AI and cloud, high growth, high margin areas. And that balance sheet is much, much stronger now. Huge pluses. But you absolutely cannot ignore the recent big net loss, the revenue shrinkage, and just the general uncertainty around pulling off this transition smoothly. That screams caution.
So it depends on your timeline.
Absolutely. For short-term trading, it's neutral. The chart says wait for a break above $76 resistance, or wait to see what happens after the November earnings. Don't jump in while it's stuck. For a long-term investment, say 2-3 years or more, it's more of a moderate positive. But buying now means you really believe management can execute this AI plan against tough rivals, and you believe the whole AI sector keeps booming.
So patience is key for long-term holders.
Definitely requires patience and tolerance for potential bumps along the way.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with. You've got insiders selling around $11 million worth, but big institutions are buying in and options traders are betting on upside. So the real question is, are the institutions making a long-term bet on the AI pivot, willing to ride out the bumps? Or are key insiders seeing the near-term mess and deciding to take some risks off the table now? How Marvell executes in these next 2 quarters? That will likely tell us who's right and define where this stock heads long-term. Something to really think about.
Thanks for joining us for this look at Marvell technology.